Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. So we're going to do some yoga tonight, some flow, kind of get the juices flowing around, get the body moving, just kind of change some energy up. So we'll wait just a second, see if a few folks hop on. Yeah, so I hope you're having a good week. I don't know about you, but it's like some weeks it just seems really slow. And then some weeks it seems like the time just goes by really fast. This week felt like that. I'm like, it's Thursday already. How did that happen? It's interesting how we're supposed to be more quiet and I'm still pretty busy. I don't know about you all. All right, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna come on back to my mat. So take a comfortable seat. Maybe kind of shake everything out and settle into your space. Take a breath in and out. Let's just do what's called tapping. It's just a way to kind of quiet our nervous system, settle us a bit. So you're just going to take two fingers and very lightly on the little pinky side of your hand. You're just going to tap there. So let's take a few moments and tap. And then switch and you'll tap on the other side. Again, the pinky side, kind of the meaty part of your hand right there, just little light taps. Good. Now bring two very light fingers right at your collarbone. Just do some light tapping right here. Get in touch with your breath. Take some deep breaths here, fill your lungs. Speaking of the lungs, start to take that tapping down along the sides, right underneath your arms, right into your rib cage. And cross your right arm over and tap underneath. I'm going to take your left arm, reach underneath and do some tapping on this side, right on the outside of your rib cage. Yeah, and let's come on back to our collarbones. Just going to tap right here. Good. Now bring your fingertips up to the top of your forehead. Just some very nice light tapping all on your forehead. And down along the sides of your face. And tap along your jawline. And if you were to have a mustache right above your lip, just kind of move around your face, jaw, upper lip, cheeks, temples, forehead. And bring your light tapping up to the very top of your head. Very light, kind of like raindrops falling on your head. And then I like to take that tapping around to the very back of my neck. And follow your fingertips around to the front. Come back to your heart, to your chest, right below your collarbones. And then bring your palms together and let them fold in your lap. Close your eyes. Breath in and out. Just taking a moment to observe how you feel, how you notice how you shift the energy around. And then interlace your fingers, draw your arms up, take a big stretch. And then back to your heart. Let's open our practice with one chant of Om. So taking a deep breath in. Exhaling all the way out. And then inhale for Om. Good. And then let's make our way onto our back tonight. Start a little differently. So roll on back. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug here. Lengthen out your spine. So reach your tailbone towards the ground, the crown of your head straight up. Good. Now separate your knees. Reach up, grab the outside edges of your feet. Gently pull your feet down towards your belly as your knees open out wide. And again, drop your tailbone down towards the ground. Find length in your spine. Good. So holding on to the outside edge of your right foot, begin to kick your foot gently out to the right side. And just go where you comfortably can go. Might be a little stiff. We're just getting started, so you don't have to go to your full range here. And then draw the foot back in. Let's do the other side and extend the leg out. And again, just exploring, how's your hamstring feel tonight? Good, and then come back into the center. And let's lift both feet up to the ceiling. Flex your toes back. Let your hands just rest along the side of your body. Reach your heels up. Point your toes back towards your face. Feel that stretch all up through the back of your legs. Now point your toes as strongly as you can so you feel a stretch in the front part of your ankles. And then flex one more time, toes down towards your face. Reach your heels up towards the ceiling. And then point your toes again, stretch into the front of your ankles, front of your feet. Good. Bending both knees, allow your feet to come down to the floor. Spacing up your feet about hip distance apart. Push your heels into the ground and roll your spine off the floor. Really push down through the heels, reach the knees forward. And I'm just going to take this into some movement. So you're going to tuck your pelvis under, pull your belly in, and roll down. Try to feel your vertebrae come to the floor. And then reverse that wave, roll up again. Trying to feel this movement in your spine. So you're going to move up and down a few times. See if you can make contact with your spine. Each vertebra as you roll up and down. So you have to engage your core to do that. You have to pull your ribs and belly in. Just massage your back. And then roll down. And extend your left leg on the floor. Take your right leg. You're going to hug your shin. Pull the leg in. And so flex both feet so you feel some integrity, some strength in your pose. And now lift your head up. Bring your forehead towards your knee. Curl up into a little tiny ball. Pull your belly in. If you want a little more work, you can lift the left leg off the floor. Good, and release. Let's do the other side. So we're going to lift the left leg up to the outside of the rib. Pull it in. Hug the shin in. Flex both feet. And if you want a little core work, you're going to lift yourself up, bring your forehead towards your knee, and maybe lift the right leg off the floor as well. Good. Softening out of your pose. Lower down both feet on the ground. Take your right leg, cross it over the top of your left thigh, and then lift your left knee towards your left shoulder. Take an upside down pigeon to get us started. So use the strength of your left leg to just gently pull towards the knee, towards the shoulder. And then let's come into the other side. So uncross your legs. Take your left leg over your right. And then lift that right knee. Work your knee towards your shoulder. And working into a stretch here. And then easing out of your pose. You're going to draw the knees in. Start to rock forward and back. Here's my mic. walk yourself up to a seated position. I'll turn around so I can see you all. Make sure it's still, yep, working. All right, come all the way up. Take your shoulders down, tilt your head over to the right side, and extend your left arm out. Pull your fingertips back and just stretch through the whole side of your neck. And let's do the other side. So we're gonna tilt our head to the left, reach your right arm out, pull your fingertips back, press your palm away from you, just again to release into your neck. Good, and release. All right, let's find tabletop. So come on over onto all fours. My mic back in my pocket. So find table. Hands underneath your shoulders. And knees underneath your hips. Let's lift up for a few cat and cow, just to get the back moving. And then draw your hips back into child's pose. Round your spine, drop down. Just enjoy this stretch for a moment. It feels nice to come down into child's pose. If you can, let your forehead come to the floor. If that's too difficult, you're going to stack your hands and put your forehead on your hands. And then lifting yourself up. Go ahead and take your right foot up between your hands. Turn your toes under on your left foot. And we'll walk your hands forward into a low lunge. Hug your inner thighs together. And then use your hands to walk back. Keep a little bit of a bend in your right knee. Flex your right toes and lower over your leg. Feeling the stretch in your hamstring. Draw the right leg back. Drop your hips back down onto your heels and find child's pose again. As we begin to rise up, let's take the left leg up front. Turn your toes under on your right foot just for some support there. Pull your ribs up into your body and hug your legs towards each other as you find a low lunge. All right, use your hands to help walk you back. Straighten over that front leg. Keep this left knee a little bit soft. Flex your toes and lower down. Draw the left leg back and come into child's pose one more time. Drop down, round yourself into the pose. I think it's going to stay in here. And then lift up for downward facing dog. So make some adjustments. Maybe walk your feet a little bit wider. Spread your fingertips. Pull your ribs up into your body. And you can always bend your knees if your hamstrings feel tight tonight. So again, you modify this any way that feels good for you. I always suggest though, if you have your heels flat on the floor, you might want to take a step back so you have just a little bit of space between your heels and the floor so that you can stretch back into that pose. So take a moment just to play in your downward dog. Maybe you're going to rock your hips side to side. Maybe you're going to lift one leg up. Maybe you're going to roll forward and back. Find something that feels nice in your body just to wake it up, move back and forth in your downward dog. Explore and play. Sometimes we're so serious, and this is what yoga should be fun, huh? So we want to play, enjoy the movement. Now walk your feet to the top of your mat, and you're going to hang over and forward fold. So when you come over, reach the very top of your head straight down. So if you're holding your head and looking with your eyes to the floor, drop your head down and look more at your shins so the back of your neck feels long. Bend your knees, pull your belly up and in. Give your head a gentle shake, yes. And a gentle shake, no. Good. Halfway lift, fingertips on your shin, reach the crown of your head forward. So looking for a nice long spine here. Pulling ribs up into your body, and then watch so you don't overstretch behind your knees. So keep a little softness there. Good. And fold. Come all the way down. Good. This time we're going to rise to the top. So inhale, stretch the arms up, lift up, all the way up, look up, stretch up. Take your hands to your heart and pause. All right, let's do a really simple flow tonight just to get everything moving, get us warm. So we're going to inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way down. Fingertips to the floor, even if you have to bend your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground. Take 2 steps back to plank pose. So when you're in plank, your shoulders are just slightly in front of your wrist. You're using your fingers to grip the floor. If that's too much for you tonight, knees are on the ground. Whichever pose you are in, really engage your core. Pull it up, hold your core there. Good, bend your elbows, lower yourself to the floor. Untuck your toes, legs come together. Lift your shoulders up to your ears and then let them roll back. And that rolling action lifts your chest. Elbows hug in. There's a feeling like your heart is just, it could beat right out of your chest. So you're reaching your heart forward, chest forward. Shoulders down. And then release. Push off the ground. Find downward facing dog. Lift up, roll back, downward dog. Nice full breath here. Good. So let's inhale the right leg up to the sky. So you're just going to stretch it up wherever feels like a good place for you. It doesn't have to be super high. And then bend your right knee. Start to carry that right knee underneath you. When you get about halfway, I want you to really engage your belly. So pull your belly up. Find cat pose so your back starts to arch towards the ceiling. What you're doing is creating space because you want to step your right foot right next to your right thumb. Now do the best you can. If you're not anywhere near that, that's okay. Just take your hand and help yourself get there. Bend your right knee, lift your chest, find your lunge. All right, so we're going to take just a little bit of a step in so that you can put your left heel on the floor. Wind up into Warrior Two. Virabhadrasana B. Bend your knee, drop into it. Turn the palm up on the right hand and sweep back for Reverse Warrior. So we're keeping our chest turned sideways. Sometimes you can reach your heart up. It's a little different pose. So stay sideways for our movement, for our vinyasa. All right, windmill those hands to the floor. Take your right leg back to plank pose. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Untuck your toes, legs together. Roll up for Cobra. You can lift as high as you want to go. If you want to come all the way up, that's great. Just don't lock your elbows. And then release. Push off the ground. Downward facing dog. Roll through your body. Stretch back. All right, left leg. Let's lift it up. Stretch it up high. Bend the knee. Start to shift your body forward. Wrists are your aim for your shoulders. And then step right between your hands. Back heel comes down. And then wind up into your Warrior Two on the other side. Turning your head, just gaze over your left fingertips. Try to keep your ribs pulled into your body. And then reverse your warrior. Stretch back behind, open back. Enjoy that movement. Windmill your hands to the floor. Find your plank pose again. Exhale, lower to the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Inhale, lift up through Cobra. Exhale and lower down. Use the strength of your arms, push off the ground, downward facing dog. All right, breathe right there. Take this opportunity to really push your hands into the ground to reach your hips back. And we're going to rise up onto our toes. bend our knees and either walk, step, or hop your feet to the top of your mat. You can always choose that option and feel free to mix it up. Fingers on your shin, good place. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Rise with your breath, come all the way up, inhaling, look up, reach up. Hands to your heart, exhale. All right, now you got the general pattern. We'll add on to that later, but for now, let's stay with this. So let's inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground. Come on back to your plank pose. Exhale to the floor, or if you like, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg lifts. Shift forward as you step right between your hands. Left heel down. On the inhale, wind up into your warrior two. Go all the way back into your reverse warrior. And then like a big wave, carry your hands to the floor and move through your vinyasa. Exhale as you lower towards the earth. Inhale as you push away from the earth. Downward facing dog. Left leg, inhale, lifts. Step between your hands, back heel on the floor. Inhale, wind up all the way back into reverse. Hands come to the floor. Move through your vinyasa. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhale back. Now we're going to the top of the mat, so come up onto your toes. Bend your knees, hop, step, or walk your feet. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground, plank pose. Exhale and lower. Inhale, push up. Exhaling back into downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step, heel down. Inhale, wind up. Exhaling to reverse. Inhale lifts you up. Hands to the floor. Start your exhale and lower. Inhale, up. Exhaling back. Left leg, inhale. Exhale, step. Right heel down. Inhale, wind up. Exhaling back. Inhale, up. Exhale, move through your vinyasa. Downward dog. All right, let's build on that. Right leg lifts up. This time though, bend your right knee and open your hip for scorpion. So just a little hip action here. Feels nice to open your hip. Couple things you want to watch for is the leg that you're standing on, your support leg. Be careful that you don't lock that knee straight. Keep a little bit of a bend there. And then think of aiming your right knee, the leg that's in the air, that you're aiming that knee straight up towards the ceiling. So you feel that big openness in your right hip. And then one last thing to watch for in this pose is you don't collapse in your left shoulder. So push hands into the ground, equal weight, and try to keep your chest fairly square. Doesn't have to be perfect, but pretty square. All right, so let's pick up where we were. Take an inhale. On your exhale, draw the leg through and step. Back heel on the ground. Wind up. Inhale. Come all the way back. Good. On another inhale, lift up. Wind the hands. Move through your vinyasa, either to the floor or chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Downward dog. Left leg, here you go. Inhale, reach it up, bend the knee, open into scorpion pose. Take another inhale as you lift up. On your exhale, step right between your hands, back heel down. Inhale, wind yourself up. Come on back. And then wind back forward. Move through your vinyasa. So now if you're like, I don't want to do this many push-ups, you don't have to. You can always just step back into downward dog, and we will all meet there. Good, so everyone's in downward dog. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, hop, step, walk your feet, halfway lift, hands down, rise up with your breath. Hands to your heart, exhale, pause. All right, let's put that together. One breath, one movement. Inhale, lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground, come back to plank pose. Lowering down to the ground or chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Downward dog. Right leg lifts, bend your knee, find your scorpion. Take another inhale as you extend up, and then step your foot between your hands. Back heel down. Inhale, come all the way up. Winds back. And then hands to the floor. Move through your vinyasa or skip it. Left leg, inhale. Bend the knee. Rise up. Step right between your hands. Back heel down. Wind up. And then hands to the floor. Move through your vinyasa, or again, skip it. Downward facing dog. Rise to the top of the toes. Bend your knees, hop, step, or walk your feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise with your breath. Come all the way up, inhale. Good, this time bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Inhale and open your chest. Slide your hands down. Open your chest towards the ceiling. Good. Stay here for a couple of breaths just to get the stretch across your chest and into your shoulders. Keep your legs strong so they're working towards each other. Take another inhale. On your exhale, fold. Letting your arms come over the top if your shoulders will allow. If your arms feel pretty stuck on your back, that's fine. Just work right here. Shift the weight into your toes. Let your head relax. You don't have to move past here. Just, again, listen to your body. If you know that your shoulders are a little more open, try to lift your knuckles up towards the ceiling like you're unplugging your arms. And then let them come over the top to wherever is a comfortable stretch for your shoulders. Good, release your hands down to the ground. Inhale for halfway lift. Hands on the ground, step back to plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga or the floor. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts on your inhale. Bend your knee on your exhale for scorpion. Inhale, reach the leg up. Exhale, step between your hands, back heel on the floor. Wind up, inhale. And all the way over. Come on, back. Big wave. And move through your vinyasa or go right to downward dog. Left leg, inhale, lifts. Bend your knee. Inhale, reach up. Step between your hands. Back heel down. Inhale, wind up. Come on, back down. Find your plank pose. Stay in plank pose. Hold it right here. Breathe. Good. So again, check your shoulders. There should be a little bit in front of your wrist. Belly's lifted. Legs squeezed together. Reach back through your heels. Reach out through the crown of your head. So you feel this line of energy from the crown of your head all the way past your belly down into your knees. This should feel like work. If it's too much, put your knees on the floor. But if you can stay here, stay with me. Breathe. Come on, we're strengthening our arms, but we're really strengthening our core. You probably feel that. Take another inhale. And then on your exhale, lower down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, release. Push off the ground, downward dog. Rise up onto your toes. Bend your knees. Hop, step, or walk your feet top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, take them behind your back. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the ground. Step back to plank. Exhale and lower. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale into scorpion. Now stay here. You can stay or flip over into wild thing, if that's calling your name. So when you come into that wild thing, we're working your belly up towards the ceiling. Good, flip back over. Now carry the right leg all the way through. Up by your thumb, heel down. Inhale, wind up, all the way back. Move through your vinyasa or go right to downward dog. Maybe even child's pose. Downward dog, we all meet there. Left leg, inhale, lifts. Bend the knees, stay in scorpion or continue over into wild thing. Flip back over. Left leg comes all the way up. Right heel down. Wind up. Move all the way through. Big wave to the floor. And vinyasa. Downward dog. Inhale up on your toes. Bend your knees. Hop, step, or walk your feet. Halfway lift. Hands on the ground. Fold. Rise all the way up. And hands to your heart. Pause right here. Do a quick check-in. See how you're feeling from your practice. What are you learning about yourself from your yoga practice? What lessons is your yoga imparting on you tonight? The cool thing is that it's different every single time you practice. So tonight, how is your yoga speaking to you? What are you feeling from this? What are you learning from it? If you're like, I have no idea, Susan, that's totally fine. But maybe you're getting a message. I don't know, sometimes when I'm doing my yoga and I'm halfway through and I'm like, wow, this just feels great in my body. Like I can't imagine not doing yoga. Maybe that's the lesson tonight, that we need yoga. Hands to your heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands behind your back. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground, plank pose. Stay in plank pose. Option, hold it, or 4. Let's do 4. 4 push-ups. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Downward dog. Reach back. Ah, yes. Feel those arms. Stay in downward dog. Or, can we do 4 more? Yeah, let's do it. Come forward. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Downward dog. Ooh, yes. I feel my arms. I don't know about you all, but I do. Breathe. Right leg lifts. Inhale. Bend your knee. Stay in scorpion or flip over to wild thing. Flip back over. Right leg up by your right thumb. Left heel on the floor. Wind up. Inhale. All the way back. Hands on the ground. Move through your vinyasa or go right to downward dog. Left leg, inhale, reaches up. Bend your knees, scorpion, or flip on over into your wild thing. Come back over. Left foot up by the left thumb, right heel down. Inhale, big wave. Back down to the ground. Vinyasa or downward dog. Good, stay in downward dog. Now if you're like, yeah, downward dog's too much right now, knees on the ground, child's pose. Perfect option. Wherever you are, downward dog or in child's pose, allow your hips just to sway side to side. Feel stretch. And then come back into the center. Walk your feet to the top of your mat and just hang forward in a forward fold. Pull your belly up towards your spine and gently roll up. Let your arms be like weights. Just let them hang. They're the last thing they're going to come up. Take your time, take your time, take your time. Rise up. Arms float. Take your left hand, grab hold of the right wrist. Like you're unplugging that arm, just a little bit of lift here. I want you to soften your knees, pull your ribs in, and then gently lean over to your left side, taking your half moon stretch. So notice when we do that, we tend to push our chin down into our chest. So lift your chest away, lift your chin, away from your chest. Oh, this feels great. Big side opening stretch. If you're like me, your back gives you a little pop, snackle, crack, all that good stuff. Snap, crackle, pop. I'm dating myself. Do you remember that cereal? Half of you are like, no. Inhale, lift up. Let's do the other side. Lift up, knees soft, and come on over. Rice Krispies. Snap, crackle, pop. Sometimes that's what my body sounds like. How about yours? Good. Inhale, lift. Take your hands to your heart. Bend your knees, come down into your chair pose. Good, hold it right there. So when we're in our chair pose, imagine you have this little tiny skier on your head. I know it's Colorado, so we want to picture a skier. But if you have this little skier on your head, and he is going down your back, like your back is a ski slope, you would want that skier to hit your tailbone and fly up. So you want this little bit of a curve here, not so much so though that it bothers your back, but just a little bit. And at the same time, you're engaging your core. You're pulling your belly in, ribs into your body, but there is a little bit of curve in your spine. So in other words, if you have that little skier on your head and they went down your back, you don't want it to go straight to the ground. So give it a little ski lift, if you will, so it flies up into the air. He or she flies up into the air. Good, now lift all 10 toes off the ground. Spread your toes. Feel your feet. Feel the four corners of your feet. What does that mean? So underneath your big toe, feel this mound right at the base of your big toe. I'll come onto the ground. And then underneath your pinky toe, you should feel that side of your foot. Now, if you could draw an imaginary line back to your heel, feel the outside edges of your heel and the inside edges of your heel. So four corners on the ground. Bend your knees, drop deeper if you can. Not required, but if it feels nice, go for it. Let's twist. So we're going to reach our left arm forward, right arm back. Twist, but keeping your belly facing the front. If you would like a little deeper twist, your left elbow can come across the top of your right knee. Stack your right hand on top. Push down, lift your rib cage, and twist. Just an option. Don't have to take it. Good. Now again, engage your belly. I always glance down and check out my knees because I can even see my left knee is creeping forward. So I want to pull my left knee back, so it sits level with my right knee. And that helps to keep my hips square. Now you can make this pose bigger by taking your left hand to the floor and opening the right arm. If you want to make it even more work, you want to work your left shoulder to the outside of your right knee and then open your arms. Good. Close up your arms and slowly rise up. Big stretch up. And then come back into chair pose. Twisting on the other side. Reach your right arm forward, left arm back, but you're still working your belly to the front. So you feel a twist in your spine. Stay here or come deeper by dropping the right arm across, left hand on top. Push down to lift your rib cage and turn. So you're working to get this prayer to line up with the center of your chest. May not be happening today, but that's what we're working on. Now this time, look, my right knee, it's sticking way out. So I want to pull my right knee back, bring myself into alignment. Top of my head straight forward. And then inhale, rise up. I forgot to give you the option to open your arms. Hopefully you took it. Fold down, forward fold. Deep breath. Stay in a forward fold or bend your knees and come down into yoga squat. Make yourself small. Wrap your arms around, pull yourself in. Round your back. I think this pose feels really good in your low back, or at least it does in mine. And then straighten your legs, tip your head forward, and fold. All right, go ahead and open up your feet about hip distance apart. Take your two peace sign fingers, wrap them around your big toes, pull your elbows out to the side, and you're going to work the top of your head towards the floor. Shift weight forward in your feet. Let your heels feel like they're lifting slightly. So you want to feel a nice long feeling from your heels all the way up the back of your legs. So that muscle, your hamstring muscle, attaches at the top of your hips and travels down your leg. So that's what we're working on our stretch here. Knees are soft, so not locked. A little bit of softness. Good. Halfway lift. Extend out, long spine. Take your hands onto the ground and just walk your feet a little bit wider out. Turn your toes slightly in just because it helps you with balance. Leave your left hand on the floor right about underneath your chin. You can be on your fingertips or flat. Either one's good. Knees soft. Right arm lifts up for a twist. So just like we did earlier, keep your belly working towards the floor. And then you can look up. It's not entirely necessary, and if it bothers your neck, just look straight down at the ground. And we'll switch to the other side. Take the right hand down. Engage your belly, so lift it up towards your spine. Left arm reaches, belly towards the floor. Now, notice your feet. Are you shifting all the way into your left foot? If so, push in your left foot and see if you can be more even in your 2 feet. And then release the hand down to the ground. Toe heel your feet a little wider, and this time turn your toes out. Play with walking side to side. So some of you are going to go a little deeper than others. Just explore. How does this feel? Start to work yourself side to side. If it's available to you to come all the way down, that's fine. Lift the toes up. But if it bothers your knees or it's just too much in your hamstring, stay higher. Just play with going side to side. And that's stretching your hips and your legs. And then come back into the center. Let yourself line up here. Grab hold of your ankles, bend your elbows, and pull your head towards the floor. Now, a couple of options. One is just to let your head hang. Might feel nice. If you want to get a little more length out of your neck, kind of some traction, if you will, interlace your fingers behind your neck, squeeze your elbows towards each other, and gently is the important word here, gently work your forearms towards the ground, which is going to give you some more length in this pose. Knees bent or soft, not locked straight. If you can bring your head to the floor, you can reach your hands to your heels and bring your head all the way to the floor. All are great poses. Which one is going to suit your body? Which one's going to feel nice tonight? And then inhale, lift your head. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Turn yourself in that direction and step back into your downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out your heels, bend your knees. Check my time. 6:34. Okay. All right, let's lift the right leg to the ceiling. Stretch it up high. So we've been stepping between our hands. So this time I want you to step to the outside of your right hand. So kind of lizard lunge. I'll rotate my back heel out a little. So you can stay here or drop your knee down onto the floor. If you would like to go deeper, come on down to your forearms. And again, this can be with your left knee on the ground, or you can lift your left knee off the ground. So to get started, hug your right knee towards your right shoulder. So you're hugging everything to the middle of your body, pulling your belly up. Hold right here, neck relaxed. So I like to just bow my head, let it rest on my hands. So just hold here. Give a little bit of time to marinate in your hips. And then if your knee is lifted, bring it down to the ground. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders to lift yourself up. Good, now turn your right foot out to the right. You want your knee and your foot to be in the same alignment. You're gonna roll to the pinky toe side edge of your foot and gently work your right knee out to the side. You should feel it right in here in your hips. So stay here or lower down onto your forearms again. If this is bothering your knee at all or just too much of a stretch, just come on back to the pose we were doing a moment ago with your foot on the ground. And then use your hands to lift you up. We're going to slide the right leg back. And we'll switch by taking the left leg up. Either leave your right knee on the ground, or you can lift it up. Hold your lizard lunge. Or come deeper into your lizard lunge, down onto your elbows. Again, knee can be up or down. One is not better than the other. Which one feels better in your body? What's your energy level like? It's getting later in the evening, so maybe you're feeling more like, I just want to take it a little easy here. So yeah, drop your knee to the floor. If you're like, oh, I got so much energy, I got to get out of my body, I've been sitting around too much, and you want to work a little more, then lift the leg up. And you don't have to do the same thing every single time you practice. It's great to mix it up. All right, we're going to come up. Turn your left foot to the left. Let your knee be in the same direction as your foot. Roll to the outside, that kind of knife edge of your left foot. Stay on your hands or come back down onto your elbows. And just let go of that leg. So let gravity gently open it out to the left. And then lifting yourself up. Let's come back into downward facing dog. Reach up, stretch back. A full breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's move to pigeon. So we're going to inhale the right leg up, bend your right knee, and come in for a soft landing. So your knee's going to land between your hands. You can walk your left leg out. Try to sit level in your hips so you're not falling to the right side. Stay up, proud pigeon, or walk yourself out, resting pigeon. Bring your hands along the rib cage, lift up your chest, and then slide back into downward dog. Lift the left leg up, bend the knee, nice soft landing, knee between your hands. Try to sit level and even in your hips. Stay up in proud pigeon, or walk yourself forward into your resting pigeon. And then inhale as you begin to rise up. Come back into one last downward dog. So take an opportunity to just roll side to side, bend your knees. Maybe take a few rolling forward and back. And then both knees onto the ground. Untuck your toes. Bring your hands back along the sides of your feet, and then lay your shoulders on top of your knees. So rounded child's pose, really small here. Let the shoulders relax, so gravity will take your shoulders towards the floor. With an inhale, lift off your legs, bring your hands forward, turn your toes under, and then draw your hips back towards your heels. Staying here, or walk closer in, maybe even lift all the way up so that you feel the work in your feet. Eventually, working our heels together, but that doesn't have to happen tonight, but we're working in that direction. Breathe. All right, staying with the legs if you can. If that's too much, come out of it. Sit on your shins. Otherwise, reach your right arm up. Put the palm into the center of your back. Use your left hand just to lift up. Now chin up, press your head back into your arm. If you want a little more, lean slightly to the left. And then back up, switch arms, gently press your head back into your arm to open your shoulder. If you want to lean over, you can lean a little bit to the right. Keep your ribs pulling in. And then release. Bring your hands to the floor. Similar to what we did at the beginning with our tapping. Just use the floor, tap out your feet. And then have a seat. Taking your legs straight out into a V-sit. So the legs are out wide. Dig your heels into the floor and just gently pull in slightly. And that's going to lift your knees. You want that softness in your knees. If you feel like your hips are tilted back and that your back is rounded out behind you, sit on a pillow so you can tip forward. So this is a little bit like the mini skier that we had for our chair pose. The same action. We want our pelvis to tip forward so that you have a little curve, natural curve in your spine. So sitting on something will tilt your pelvis forward. All right, let's walk our hands out. Wherever that is for you tonight. Doesn't have to be all the way, maybe a little bit in between where you normally go. Might feel nicer tonight. All right, so let's sink in. Connect with our breath. And visualize your breath. So when you draw an inhale in, can you see that breath traveling down your body into your legs? Imagine drawing the breath all the way down to your heels. And then use your hands to lift you up. And we'll do a side stretch. So left hand stays on the floor for a moment. Let's lift the right arm up. You're going to come over to your left side. So we're keeping this left shoulder in front. And I use my hand a lot just to lightly grip the floor and start to turn my chest up. And then stretch over. Wherever you can comfortably go. And then inhale, lift. And we'll come over to the other side. Big side opening stretch. And crawl your right fingers on the floor. Trying to keep both hips rooted onto the ground. And then inhale and lift up out of your pose. All right. So we're coming to that point where we're about to finish out our practice, but if there's a pose that we didn't do tonight that you're like, oh, I really got to do this pose, maybe it's something that you have in your normal practice, take a moment to do that. Otherwise, you can come on down onto your back for your Shavasana, and I'll get you set up for that. So if you're coming into Shavasana, take a moment just to, like we did this earlier with the shins, let's do it with their whole bodies. You're just going to bounce your legs. Kind of bigger tapping, if you will. Just tapping the legs, breaking up the energy. And then have to be at the same time. You can do kind of alternate. And then relax your legs. Do the same thing with your arms, like, kind of think of a fish, out of water. And just kind of lightly pat, tap, shake it all out. Open and close your fists, shake out your hands. And then just shake off that energy from the day. Whether it was a good day, bad day, just let it all go. And then relax your arms. And shake your chest side to side, rock your shoulders. Let your belly and your hips rock side to side. Using the floor to kind of help you here. And then soften and relax. Let your head rock side to side, not quite as fast, so easy on your neck. Just roll it side to side. And then lift the chin up like you're stretching over. And then chin to your chest. Chin stretches over and to your chest. And then since you're home, nobody can see the funny faces you're making, so squinch up your face. Tighten up your hands. Make everything in your body super tight. and then soften. Let everything relax. Let's start this over. All right, so you're moving into your final pose, your Shavasana. Let me get my reading. I want to share with you tonight in our final pose, our Shavasana, from Baron Baptiste, his first book, Power Yoga, Journey into Power Yoga. It's one of my first yoga books was Baron Baptiste's book, and I've been fortunate to take some classes with him, some trainings with him, and I love what he has to say. So when I used to teach yoga for credit up at Western State College, I often use this book for inspiration, so if I'd share some of that with you tonight. So find your breath, settle onto the floor. Feel your bones be as heavy as they really are. So allow your body just to sink back. Welcome to yoga, the ultimate wake-up call. So many of us are striving so hard to be better, to know more, do more, be more. We have been conditioned by society to believe that we are not good enough the way that we are. We're afraid that if we do less, we will be less. So we read all the latest self-improvement books. We take lots of seminars. We follow all kinds of diets. We go to the gym religiously. But yet, nothing seems to really get us where we want to go. We still perhaps weigh too much, worry too much, and race all around searching for something that will soothe whatever it is that we see as our problem. But I believe we all have just one problem. That's right, every single one of us suffers from the very same problem. Of course, your life looks different from mine, or your friends, or your neighbors. You might even think that your problems are unique. But for those of us who feel dissatisfied with our bodies or our lives, there really is only one explanation. We are not living from our authentic self, from our truth. We are not living from our authentic selves. We are asleep, blinded to who and what we really can be. We're pursuing some better version of ourselves, all the while asleep to the one true fact that our ideal self is already within us, just waiting to be awakened. Yoga is not about seeking the answers from the outside world. It's not about putting on more muscles, getting more knowledge, being more flexible, finding a better relationship. You've been taught your whole life to look outside of yourself. Experts, books, teachers. but all you need is already within you. It's time that we all wrap our arms around the truth. The goal here is not to go out and find yourself, for you were never really lost. Forgotten maybe, but not lost. Yoga is about excavating the amazing, radiant self already inside of you. It is ultimately a journey into truth, the truth about who you really are and what you are capable of. So feel free to stay in your final pose, your Shavasana, for as long as the pose is calling for you to stay there. It's been my honor to be with you again today. Hope that you'll join us again for SunWater Spa on Tuesday night. Have a great weekend. Get outside, put your feet in the grass, touch nature. We'll close with one chant of Om, inhaling a breath, exhaling completely, inhaling for Om, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Now more than ever, may all know peace, and may our words, thoughts, and actions contribute to that peace in some way. Namaste, everyone. Much gratitude for coming to our online classes. Feel free to leave some comments, leave suggestions, things you'd like to see in class. Have a great weekend. Bye.